you are the most normal person in that family.
Right? I am.
That was a big appeal to that character. I think.
No, I love the character because she got done, and as much as I loved Brenda, it got very frustrating as I was like getting more and more done in life, having babies, moving countries, operating, running a family, and I was like, I want to play someone that can do something, like can actually make marks, make happen. So that was my attraction to her, was that she got stuff done. I wanted to play someone who could be active and still be human. And she seemed to be able to do all that. And I guess when you look for a character, especially when you know you're going to do 22 episodes maybe for 5 or 7 years, you want a character that's not going to feel limiting, that you can put all yourself into. I think it's different if you're working 3 months or 6 months that you go, you cut off pieces of yourself. But if you're living for that long a period of time, you want to be feeling like you're all there, or think you kill yourself. I would.
But as you say, it's hard to know sort of after the pilot where the whole thing is going to go.
But you can, it gets to a point you can sit down with the people and, say what you were interested or not interested in. I made it pretty clear that I was really attracted to playing a married woman who didn't have sex with a lot of people. And that was actually a kind of no-brain, no more discussion. And they're like, oh, no, you're married and it's about marriage. And of course, by the end of the first season, I was divorced and shagging someone I just met. That's a good question. But I continually bring up that discussion we had to protect the character's development, and I think in good faith they know that, I was pretty clear about things that I was not comfortable doing, and that, they're good people and they want me to be happy.
It seems like the longer you would play a character, the more connection you would sort of have with the direction that the character takes. So I'm curious how you sort of respond to things like, I don't know, Mary-Louise with the burning down of a grass stick, or the jumping ahead in time in Mad Men, or Michael C.L. I remember reading an interview in which you talked about, there was a point in last season in which Dexter thought about turning himself in, and you didn't quite think he would do that. How do you sort of respond to getting material and saying, I don't know quite how I feel about this person doing this because I feel so connected to them?
Well, in that particular case, he did end up seriously flirting with the idea. I think there was, you could argue that there's a question as to what his motivation was, if he ever was really going to do it. But for me, it was that the writing seemed to suggest that his motivation to turn himself in was connected to this budding sense of empathy, which I thought was dicey. So it was more about the how than the what in that case. But I think if you're the one playing the character, inevitably the writers will start to write to what you bring to it and to what, it's no longer just a blank page and words they're putting on the page or some phantom person they have in their mind. It's you. So they're writing with you in mind.
Well, I really like it when the writers go to extremes, and I thought that was I never really saw a show do that before, completely chuck its premise, so much so that they had to completely. We don't really have an opening anymore. We don't even have an opening song because I'm not in the suburbs anymore because I burnt down my suburbs. And I love that. The more extreme, the better. I want to burn down my house. I want to burn down my house. Like, that's so who my character is, The more extreme, the better. It's the little teeny tiny things that are harder for me to connect to that I might take issue. But I try to find my way to them rather than to try to bring the story to me all the time and to try to... I try to make the leap as much as I can, and to try to save when I have a comment or when I have a request for something bigger. But I loved that. I thought that was awesome. Genji was like, what do you think if we burn down the Grustic? I just thought that was great. Move somewhere else. I mean, I would have been happy if we moved to, like Queens or something. I would have been a little bit happier than San Diego. But yeah, they usually surprise me with things that are pretty bold, and I love those kind of surprises when I open my script. It's just